Actually, I am really loud.
Duh.
But like, it depends.
Just be yourself, man.
Just pretend there's no camera.
There's no camera. Hey, the camera not even here. It's just us. We just vibing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then we just gonna be able to get started, man.
Yeah, we're
you know
also
what I'm
already
saying?
live. So.
But we already live already, so just FYI. So we're gonna just tap right into it. You know what I'm saying? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Athletes Vision, where we dive into the lives of these young athletes and they tell the untold stories while they chase their dreams in the lives of sports. I am Mike Nunnally. Our guest today is
Addisyn Banks.
Yes.
And my name is Tyler Benson. And so we're going to be diving into everybody's stories. We take each athlete and we dive into their stories a little bit deeper. But before we do that, just got to remind everybody that episodes come out every single Monday at 8 a.m.
8 a.m.
Don't miss it. If you are watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, you like, you hit the little bell. If you're watching or you're listening on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Prime, who knows where, make sure you give us a little rating, whatever the rating is.
Always.
But without further ado, what's going on? Welcome.
Hello.
So actually, you are the first female on the show that has come to the podcast.
This
is a big day.
History right now.
Yeah,
this is a big day. This is a big day.
History right now.
This is a big day.
This is gonna go down in the record books.
This is in the record books, man. This is something. This is a special day for you, right? You have started a trend, right? We're gonna, you're gonna. It's gonna be more
Right.
young ladies and young athletes that's gonna have the opportunity once they hear your journey. So let's just dive into it. You know, Addisyn, just give us a little bit of who you, man. Give us your background. You know, let us know a little bit about you.
I grew up here in Virginia. I've played sports all my life. I've never seen myself not playing a sport because I feel like I always have to stay active. And if I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay.
So it's hard to find another passion for doing something I love, which has always been sports.
Okay. So growing up, you know, how many sports did you play? Like,
I did swimming, which I still do now currently. I do basketball, which I'm committed for Shenandoah.
Shenandoah.
Yes.
Congrats.
Thank you. I played flag football when I was like 6, soccer until this year. Track. I ran track because my dad always ran track.
B-Banks.
So I felt like I had.
B-Banks.
Yeah, I felt like I had to because my mom was a swimmer, softball. I feel like my dad pushed me towards doing running because he always ran. So like when I saw my sister doing something, I was like, yeah, I want to do that too because it was always like competitive to me.
Yeah.
So I was like, if my sister's doing something, I'm doing it too, just so I can like show her up. And not
as that little sister, you know, I get it.
And since I've always been the younger one, like the smaller one, like you understand, like being small and stuff.
Oh, that's crazy.
but like being small and stuff, like. I've always had.
That's tough.
Just like always, like seeing the big kids and being like, I can be better than you. Like always challenging yourself.
Yeah.
But now that I'm like taller than my sister, it's like I just feel like I'm better at this.
Even looking down at her like, yeah.
So I mean, so you understand? So. You know, big shout outs to B Banks, man. Like it's my big bro, man. Love you to death. I think you've done a heck of a job, you know, raising two beautiful young women. You know, my nieces, man, they strive for nothing but, you know, to be the best version of themselves. So, you know, tap it in since you already threw a shot at me, you know, about my height, you know, stuff like that. So you stand about 5'10". Right, so before you was 5'10", you know, you was this little short, little speedy, little Gonzalez, little athlete, right? So you said that you played flag football, right? Yes. You know, as a young lady, you know, what made you really want to play flag football?
My dad and I used to throw the football in the backyard, and we've always practiced just doing sports for fun. So football was always something that like I always wanted to do. I couldn't do tackle because my mom and dad were not gonna let me do tackle. That's for sure. They were like, it's too dangerous. So they put me in a flag, and my older sister, she did it. So seeing her do it, I was like, oh, I can do it too. I don't care like if I was a male or female. Like that was my sport that I wanted to play at the moment.
I got you.
So I didn't see male or female, whatever. I just saw that I wanted to play and I wanted to challenge myself because I feel like going up against the guys, I feel like people like downplay women in a way, because they're like, oh, she's not gonna be as good. So then I felt like that was an opportunity to show myself and like, show what like I can do.
So that you're an athlete.
Yeah.
So you took out the male and the female version and you became an athlete.
Right.
That's what you wanted to be. You know, like you always been like that, right? So which taps into like, you know. By the way, Addisyn is probably one of the most talented young women I know, right? So she plays a ton of sports, right? Swim. She can swim, right? If you know, she not only can swim, she plays basketball, which she told you she's committed, you know, like to go play at Shenandoah, you know, and then she played over at Patriot High School, you know, all 4 years on the varsity team, you know, so she has a crazy journey. But before we get there, right, you know, soccer was one of your sports as well growing up, right?
Yes.
So once again, if everybody don't know, Tyler Benson is a coach over at Fauquier High School. Yep. I am the head coach over at Brentsville District High School men's basketball. So we always try to give ourselves shots out.
Gotta make you shots on,
you know,
whenever possible.
But since you want to tap into that, you know, if you had to rate yourself when it came to which sport that you like the most, which one would you say?
So it used to always be soccer and basketball. And those were the two that I really like didn't know which one I want to do, because I felt like I was good at both and I was very talented at both sports, so I didn't really know which one to choose until junior year of high school.
I got you.
I decided I actually want to continue playing basketball because I found more love in that sport.
I got you.
Instead of doing soccer, which I still love it today, but I didn't find the love at that point where I was at, so I was like, all right, I'm just gonna continue to do basketball.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's cool. So like you said, I coach a lot of soccer right now. I coach a high school age travel soccer team, and I coach at Fauquier High School girls soccer as well. So girls soccer has a very special place in my heart, especially because I feel like, especially women's sports in general, are underrepresented. Which, you know, like you said, like you want to be an athlete. Like you don't want to be compared to anybody else. Like,
no.
You're an athlete, and there are athletes. I was actually, small anecdote, but I was playing in a tournament the other day with one of my athletes, Mason, and it was me and her versus a bunch of dudes, and like everybody kept saying like, oh, like trying to take it easy on her. I'm like, I would have taken her over any single one of y'all, and then we ended up getting second in the whole tournament. So I was like, it doesn't matter to me, and that's why I've been so passionate about, you know, going to women's sports versus staying in the guy sports, because I feel like, I don't know, I just like the passion, I like the grit, I like the dedication so much more. So women's soccer in particular for me has a pretty special place in my heart. So I just wanted to ask you, like, what positions did you play, what teams did you play for growing up and stuff like that?
I played travel soccer and I played for VSA.
Okay. Yep.
And I played for about 2-3 years until I decided like it wasn't for me anymore.
Yep.
Position wise, I played multiple because I felt like I was good enough to be, and my coach knew that I was good enough to play multiple, even goalie.
Yeah. Okay.
At one point, our team didn't have a goalie, so we had to circle around to see which one like was the best one. So then I happened to be good at it. Even though I didn't like doing it.
Yeah, goalie is not for the faint of heart.
It's all in your
yeah,
head.
it's all mental.
So I played left striker, right striker, wing, and then defensive back.
I can see all of this. Yeah. Speed, height, especially wing, endurance.
Right.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, cool. Really appreciate that. Yeah, like I said, like soccer in particular is really awesome. But you said that you fell, you know, kind of out of love with the sport. So what brought you over to basketball?
Well, both sports I've been playing for my entire life. I think the group of people that I was with really like saw something in me. Yep. So then it was like when they see something in me, it's like, oh, they believe in me that I can do something. So I was like, I want to keep this going. Yep. And I want to find another love with a different group of people. And that was Shenandoah University, where I love the coach, I love the people, players, managers, everyone who's there is like someone who like is going to mean something to me at one point. So that's why I decided to go to that school and continue basketball. That's a huge thing that you just said right there, because that bond will take you farther than anything. So no knock on VSA, but I've heard when I played soccer, I played for travel for a long time, and then all of my teammates went over to VSA. Right. And the thing about VSA is it's a huge club, tons and tons of people there.
oftentimes your coaches are coaching 2, 3, 4 teams. So you start feeling like, oh, I'm just a number, or oh, I'm just, another one of the players.
Right.
And so I imagine what it sounds like is on your basketball team, it was much more of an intimate experience. You felt tighter with your teammates, you felt tighter with your coaches. And so that love just kind of brought it out. And that's all sports is about. Like, once you find that group, that clique, then you fall in love with the sport more, and then you decide that, I'm going to put everything I have into this sport.
Everything.
Right.
And then your passion just goes. That makes a lot of sense.
Another thing was my dad was always my coach for basketball.
B-Bang.
Always,
baby.
Yes, he's been my coach and my mom when I was really little, and then my dad started to be my coach with another friend.
Shout out to your moms as well. She done a heck of a job with you as well, man.
He also pushed me to be the best player, and he always made me the point guard.
Yeah.
So, because, I was tiny, quick, until now, I was playing the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in high school. Shout out to Coach Dub.
Yeah.
Coach Dub. She was like, you're playing every position. Freshman year, it wasn't always, the best. I didn't get much playing time, but it also, pushed me to be all right, I'm trying to fill in someone else's spot. Because I feel like a lot of people, when they don't get playing time, it becomes oh, I don't really want to play anymore.
Yeah. Yep.
And sometimes it is that way. I gotta admit that's what drove me away from soccer. I felt like I wasn't given a chance.
Yeah.
And I felt like Coach Dub saw something in me, so it made me be yep, I'm gonna play. I'm gonna keep going. Doesn't matter if I play or don't play. She sees something in me. Yep. So.
And that's something that's important, right? So, I mean, coaches is difficult. They have so many in soccer, right? How many girls on the team?
There's at least 20.
So you got 20 girls on the team, on the basketball team, right? You got a total maybe 15, right?
Right.
Maybe 15, but out of that 15, on varsity, you probably have some of the younger players you probably have up, right? So you don't really take a team of 13 or 14 seniors, right?
No.
So you're trying to develop, right?
Right.
So they saw something in you to develop as a freshman.
Right.
And now going into, high school, playing high school soccer, you wanted that same opportunity, just see something in me. And then I seen you play soccer, right? I seen how strong your leg, I seen how you fast, you got speed, and you smart, right? Your IQ at the sports is crazy, right? So speak on it, that love that, that was taken from you of a sport that you was pretty good at, right? So speak on that a little bit.
About the love.
Yeah, just how, you stepped away because you just felt like you wasn't given an opportunity. So
I felt like the girls were very well taught in travel. They were all, how it's the cliques, it's the travel cliques where they play higher level, and it's well, I don't play higher level. I didn't do that anymore because of the I didn't fit in enough at VSA, so that's how I decided not to go anymore. But then they were asking for me back. Yep. So it's
because they realized.
Yeah.
They realized what they
right.
out on. Yep.
But I was it's not my thing anymore.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to
have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
So I taught myself in my head that I just want to do this for fun now.
I got you.
And just finish out the season and just do my own thing and then go into basketball. Because the love just wasn't there anymore, and even my players saw it because when they didn't get as much playing time and stuff, they thought they earned it, but they didn't. So it's when I'm on the bench and then when they're on the bench with me, it's what are we doing?
Yeah.
So it's
so energy just wasn't there, right?
Yeah.
That drive, that passion,
the fun, the love.
Fun.
It's just gone, and it hurts because I was always torn between those two, and I felt that's the sport I want to do now, basketball. So. Yep. Which is fine. I'm happy I'm doing a sport.
Yeah.
But it's just hard because of those two main sports that really.
Because it's still there.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I mean? That love is still there, right? So you love it, but basketball, you fell in love with it.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's and then we talk about it because Coach Tyler and I, I played with Coach Tyler one time on the soccer. I almost died. But I am terrible at soccer, right? But hey, let me tell you something. I will compete, right? I will run through it. If Tyler told me to run through a brick wall, I ran through that brick wall. I didn't care who it was. He said, "Yo, go chase him down." I'm chasing him down, right? I couldn't walk for 4 days, but we're gonna talk about that, right? But my respect for soccer was crazy differently. Mm-hmm. It was different. I said, yo, T, I tilt my head to you, bro. You know, he's like, man, nah, man. Hey, man, thank you for having me out. Right? So on that, I love playing it, mm-hmm. right? So you still love playing it because you played rec, kept playing that, and now you switch over. So in high school, because you was, you know, like I said, you grew, right? You hit a growth spurt, right? Mm-hmm. So you went from she went from 4'10", 5'1" to like 5'8", just right in a summer.
Insane. That's not fair.
In a summer, like she came to the office and she said, "Hey, Uncle Mike," I'm like. I ain't seen you in 4 months, and you're taller than me now, right? So it's always the size of me, always doing it, right? So, but she was like, I mean, I'm taller now. I said, can you still run? Yeah, I still can run. Can you handle the ball? Yeah. I mean, I'm getting better, you know, because she had to grow with her skills. I mean, her size, right? Her skills had to grow with her size because she's been a guard her whole life, right? That's why she loves making passes and doing stuff like that. So, which leads into, you know, going into your let's get into your senior year, and this is what Coach Tyler is like, you know, become the expert at, right? On that recruiting pitch, right? You know, so Coach Tyler is the one that he navigates. This is crazy because he's been through that whole process, right? I never had to go to a recruiting visit. I had one. I was at JMU when I wrestled, right? But that was the only one I went to. So Coach Tyler, you know, really speaks a lot on the journey of the recruiting process. So getting into your senior year, you know, speak on how your recruiting process started.
I decided not to do AAU that season or my junior year because that's when they normally like really look at you to see like your talent and your growth. I decided not to do it and decided to go to camps, elite camps and stuff. So I went to Princeton, I went to Monmouth, CNU, Shenandoah, and I really noticed like Princeton and CNU weren't the same type of like, you know, what's the word for it? Like they weren't the same type of people there.
No.
Ivy League and CNU.
It's completely
different. The opposite ends of the spectrum.
And you get to see like their coaches and how they react and how they act. And I fell into, I don't really want to go here, but I love the camp, but I don't feel like I'd fit in. So when I went to CNU and Shenandoah, like those two were the main two that like I really felt like, oh, this is a great school. Like I love the school, I love the campus, I love the people. But then I moved towards Shenandoah because of the coach and the people, the players, and they showed a lot of love, but they didn't know me. So it was like they just like accepted me, and I haven't even committed yet.
Not even knowing you at all.
So when they were just be like, "Hey, how you doing?" Knowing my name and just like talking like I was there yesterday when I just walked in, I was like, "Y'all, you remember me?" But they remember everything, and they were just so loving and caring, and I was like, "This is a school that I want to be at."
I got you.
But the recruiting, like there were different stages of it was like 5-hour camps sometimes. So they would be like ball handling, shooting, passing.
What's the film? Film? Yeah, stuff like that.
And they take us back. They show us the campus. They show us the rooms. Princeton was nice. Princeton was, I've been there. I gotta admit, it was real nice.
It's real nice.
It was a good experience for sure. But I was like, I'm not gonna.
Just wasn't your vibe.
Yeah.
I got you.
But
that was pretty much my recruiting process.
Yeah, that's funny. So not a lot of people. So I was recruited by Ivy League schools as well, and I feel the exact same way. And the other thing too about those schools is I don't know how far in the recruiting process you were with them or not. It sounds like you didn't like them. Or you didn't fit the vibe when you went on the camp. Yeah. Because like that's the one thing I learned about my Ivy League experience. I was getting heavily recruited by Columbia, and I really liked the campus because it was in New York City, and I was like, that's pretty fire.
Right.
But like the rigor of the school is crazy. Because like you're gonna learn this, but like freshman year is gonna be crazy. doing sport and school at the same time is insane. And
Right.
so take that to an Ivy League school, and then it gets crazy. And then also, like, I think you have a good head on your shoulders, so like, you would have been fine. But like for me, oh my God,
Yeah.
I would have struggled. Oh my. But nah. So like the recruiting process, and this is why I like to talk a lot about the recruiting process, because like, again, target audience or whatever. Like we want other athletes to see what their recruiting process is like. So again, you took a unique route. Like you did not do AAU junior year, and that is one of the, like you said, like that's probably your biggest year to start getting recruited.
Correct.
Like, that's
Right.
when you really want to start getting heavy on it. But even though you didn't play AAU, you were smart and you still went to camps. And so I think that obviously really helped your recruiting process.
Yes.
And so that's one thing that I'm glad you shared that story, because again, like, why didn't you do AAU?
I tried out for this one team, and I didn't make it. But all my friends were all there on the team, and they want to move to the B team, and I was like, I don't feel like I belong here. So I was like, I'm gonna do my own thing, and I'm gonna be just fine. So, even having my senior year in basketball, like I was talked to by Randolph Macon, by a bunch of JUCO, and like a bunch of other D2, D3 people. So I didn't feel like I struggled a lot, because I was like, oh, that's cool, like you can do your thing, but I'm still gonna be perfectly fine not doing, because like, you don't have to do an AAU. And it's
if
hard.
you go about the right way. Yeah, it's a little bit more difficult that route, but
you got to
like,
advocate for yourself.
Well, and that's what it sounds like you did. Exactly. Like you went to the camps, you showed out, you talked to the coaches, and you did the things that you needed to do to get there, regardless of not doing AAU. And that's the thing that I want people to take away from that experience. It's like, because also too, like AAU, and you're in high school still, so you're probably doing high school ball. Like that's a lot of time.
It's a ton.
That's a ton of time. So you were able to still get recruited without doing AAU your junior year. That's huge. That's huge.
And it's crazy to tell you, you're gonna laugh at this. So high school basketball now, man, it's like in high school they are in spring season, summer season, fall season, winter is when they actually in season. Yeah. So they in basketball year. Track. They in basketball year round now. Yeah. So AAU was that sport where you can use it as a platform to go out here and get recruited, for your talent, right? You can go out here and get looks. But they playing so much, they got live periods for the high school now, right? And what you did was you took an opportunity. So we had Gavin Brown was on the episode, before you, right? So when Gavin Brown came in, and his thing was, I'm reaching out to the coaches, right? I'm reaching out to every school, thanking them for, coming in, for allowing me to come in and showcase myself. So he did it a way that he had to showcase himself. He went to a couple of, same thing you did. He went to some camps, right? He put himself out there, but the way that he marketed himself, to put himself in the situation to get recruited, right? He's going to Bridgewater, right? But he got recruited, right? Because he put himself there. And that's what you had to do, right?
Yes.
So?
Like he did, which reminded me, my mom sat me down at one point and was like, you need to start doing this because they're not going to come to you.
Oh, man.
They're not,
Great
they're
job,
not.
Mom.
They're
That's
not.
fantastic.
And she had a list of schools, and she was like, what schools do you think that you want to go to or you're interested in? And I had a whole list.
Yep.
And I sent out, hello, so-and-so, like, I'm interested in your program. Do you have any camps coming up that I can come to? Here's my Huddle account, Twitter, and then I had like a picture of me playing basketball.
Got you.
And then I just sent it to them, and if they responded, then they responded. If they didn't, cool. But the ones who did it, the ones who, like some I went to camps to, and then some I just continued to talk to.
And they invited you to camps and stuff, right? Yeah, I got you. So that's what T was saying earlier. Like it was so many different platforms you can use to be get recruited, right? He said it Huddle. He said it like we just
NCSA.
Yes. So it's different ways. There's different avenues out there to be able to get recruited. And I think that AAU didn't stop your journey. It might have gave you a whole new perspective on how to go get what you want, right? And I think that it was a special time. So during that summer, it's funny that you didn't do AAU. We hit the gym hard, right? Hit the gym hard, right? And your dad, he was just like, look, I got to make sure that she's in the gym. I was like, yo, she got a key. She can come to the gym anytime she want. Right? But I'm not forcing nobody to come to the gym. Right?
And speaking on the gym, like I had a dead period.
Yeah.
I mean, you're the one training me, but I had a dead period, and then when I committed, I was like, shoot, I need to get back in the gym and start working on what I need to work, or perfecting what I need, what I already know. And that actually like pushed me to actually go back into the gym. But in my head, every time I do something I don't want to do, I'm like, this is gonna help. This is gonna help. This is gonna help. Like it's gonna show progression. Yeah. Because like you said, it's a switch.
That's a switch. You gotta flip that switch. Mm-hmm. So what is the gym you train at?
Second to none.
Say it again.
Second to none.
Hey, Second to None Sports is where actually Addisyn trains at. So a lot of people, that's me versus me over here. But Addisyn trains over at Second to None Sports. She's been there for a long, long time. But she's not just someone who comes to the gym to train. She actually comes to the gym and help develop other athletes is there. She's really, really talented in whatever she wants to do, right? Which leads to her journey, right? When it comes to doing, pursuing the basketball. But like she said, like Coach Tyler, I mean, I'll pick his brain. Like, I mean, I would have loved to see Ty. If you'd have seen Addisyn run when she ran track, but she had a goal, right? And Mackenzie is her older sister, and Mackenzie, we definitely gonna have you on this episode so you can be able to explain your journey. You got a unique one as well. We want to hear that. But this is what pushed your sister, right? Mm-hmm. So Addisyn got pushed because she's seen her sister doing it.
Yep. Right.
And her dad, Brian Banks is, he was there to like, hey, this is what we're gonna do. Then your mother was the same way, right? They was like, hey, we're going to push her to make sure that she sees who she is, but we're not going to force her.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You get what I'm saying? So speak on that, how you wasn't forced, but that drive was still there because of the older sister and your parents being former athletes, Where your dad run track at, by the way?
George Mason University. George Mason University.
You're looking at two former alumni at GMU, you know what I'm saying?
And my mom. My mom also went to George Mason.
She went to George Mason. Well, hey, the whole family. Shout out to the whole family. You get what I'm saying?
My sister's, but I'm not going. That's okay. That's okay, though.
Mackenzie's on the track team. Hey, big shout out to Mackenzie. Big shout out to the women's program for actually winning the A10 outdoor track. I think that's a heck of a job by them women. They came in there with the new coach. Hey man, great job, man. But yeah, man. So like, speak on that. What kept you motivated? Not being pushed, right?
I came from a very athletic family, as you said. Yep. And they started me off young, and I've always been aggressive as a kid. Like I've always had an attitude. I've always been aggressive. Like everybody knows. So seeing old pictures of myself playing soccer, I was grabbing the kid's jersey, I was throwing them to the ground, I was looking at you and I was staring you down. I was 6, but I didn't know what I was doing. But I saw my dad. I always get told I get my facial expressions from my dad. So every look that you get is probably from it's probably something my dad has already given. So him and my mom have always been my coaches. Yeah. So they were they had friends that they knew, so they were also on teams, and I had some friends like Corey Cole, Alana Powell. I started with them. I got you. They were the people that I started with playing basketball with, and I created great friends from them. So it's growing up, I've always had the friends I compete against Corey all the time. Yeah. She was always someone who I'd be I'm going after you. Correct. And she was always going after me. So I felt that was a great motivation for me to keep going, because seeing my sister run track, I was I'm breaking all her records. I didn't break her records, but I was going for them.
You're I want that. Yeah.
It was something that was pushing you, right? I mean, that's good. It
kept me going.
Yeah.
So I feel I had to find something to keep me going, even if it was the littlest thing, like a record. I was I want it. And in swimming, my sister swam. And I was all right, well, I'm swimming. I was 4, but I was swimming. I was a little guppy. I was at the guppies, but I was swimming. And then at 8 years old, I broke a record. Yeah. And I didn't even know. And I broke it twice at Bridalwood. And I came up to my mom, and she goes, "What's your time?" And I was 20 point some. And she's that's the record. I was I don't know what record is. I was okay.
All right. But you was competing, right? Right. Because it wasn't about the time at the point. It was the person at the time.
Yeah, it was the person.
You get what I'm saying? People don't understand that, right? She wasn't chasing the time.
Yeah, she was
chasing her sister, right?
Yeah.
She was always, Mackenzie, let me tell you something. You've done a heck of a job. When you got someone chasing you, it's the same thing that I did, right? With my bigger brother, right? Even with my younger brother, right? It was we was chasing something, right? Right. It wasn't. I didn't see competition with nobody else, right? Mm-hmm. But when it comes to them, right? Like we at each other's necks,
right?
Day in and day out. Right,
it could be who showers first. I'm racing up the stairs and I'm getting in that shower first.
But that's what pushes you, right? You know what I'm saying? And that's something that makes it special. So but with all of the sports that you do, like Addisyn is someone too. You go laugh, right? And she's my niece, so I can like really know a whole life, right? So I tell her, she doesn't just play sports. She actually works while she plays sports, right? So she has a lot of like, her journey is not just, I'm gonna go get it myself. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. I'm going to get it. Like, no, that's okay. What are you doing today? I gotta go to work. Like, she left work to come to the podcast today. I'm on my way, right? So I mean, that's the commitment, right? You make a phone call and she's like, hey, I'll be there, right? And that's the type of individual that you are, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what I love about you, because you don't want to let nobody down.
No,
you get what I'm saying? And like, speak on that, right?
Well, I think it started with sports. It always comes back to sports, I feel like, for me.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah. Like, I felt like if I lost a game, I was like, that was on me. I should have done this better. I should have done this. Not thinking of a team effort being like, oh, we lost. No, it's like, I lost that because I thought I could do better at this, so which make me push myself to be like, I'm not gonna let that happen again. Mm-hmm. And when it came to middle school, we were playing against Reagan, mm-hmm. and it was Emily Casey knows this. Like, she was there with me. She's been my person forever, mm-hmm. and we've been playing since we were little. 5th grade, we started becoming friends, and it was just like we always played travel basketball mm-hmm. together. And I made a 3-pointer that put us into overtime with 0.7 seconds left. And that, like, I feel like that moment is so in my head. Like, it's always a memory that's going to be there with me forever. Yeah. But that was, like, I really did that. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to keep it going. Like, I wanted to be the one to help the team be good at something. Mm-hmm. Like, I want us to win against this person. I want us to win against this team. Mm-hmm. But, like, not just me doing it, mm-hmm. But pushing my teammates to do the same thing, because I know how good I am, but I want to see it in my teammates and making sure that they know how good they are and keeping them to show the ability that they're good. And if you mess up one time, it's fine. Like, you have to push it away. Like, if you keep it in your head, like, you're gonna mess yourself up the whole game. Yeah. So I feel like having teammates who have been my friends the whole time, like, I've been able to always have a special bond with them, mm-hmm. which would help me who I am now.
Man, it's crazy, man. So it's funny because Tyler, and before he talks, I always brag about him, right? He probably looks at me like I'm crazy all the time, but he's at a sport when he's running track where it's people don't realize it's still a team, it's still a team sport, but it's me versus me, right? Mm-hmm. Right, you have to do your job, right? Every single step, and no pun intended, but every step. You get what I'm saying, right? So, but Tyler, like, he can speak on, that it's on me, or right. Or I could have did this better, or how can I help my team get here, right? So T, like, speak on that.
No, you have the exact same mentality that I had, like mm-hmm. that lead by example mentality,
yeah.
Right. And that's something that I've taken throughout my entire life into my career now. Like, it's helped me in my career these past few years get to where I am right now in my career. And so, like, that mentality is one that not a lot of people have, but the people that have it, like you and myself, like, it's just all we know.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like, it's not like something that we're trying to do, or we're like, oh, I'm gonna, like, that's just what we do. It's mm-hmm. just like, it's just how it comes. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, we have this saying that we say a lot, is like, rising tide raises all ships, right? And so, like, that's exactly what you are, right? Mm-hmm. You have your teammates. You said, I know how good I am. I want the rest of my teammates to be the same level as me. Same thing I did in track. Like, I would go out there every single warm up, every single workout, every single anything. I wanted to be out the front.
Insane.
But I
wanted
people to come with me. Correct. I was like, I'm gonna push. I don't care freshman year, but I was out there pushing every single person out there. I was like, I don't care who you are, how old you are, how fast you are. I'm gonna be ahead of you. And so like, but again, it's like it's the work ethic, and like, so when you have that work ethic and you put that on display, now everybody's like, oh, I'm trying to follow you, which is funny because then you just turned into, you're taking, so like you've been following your sister your whole life, like you've been your sister shouting the whole life. Now what you've done is, now when you're leading by example, you are now having everybody else follow you.
Right.
And so it's like you kind of flip the tables.
Yeah.
And so like that's a really cool thing. I was the oldest, so like I didn't really
Yeah,
I can't really relate to y'all too, you know what I'm saying? But I can relate to that lead by mentality, the lead by example mentality. And again, like you just embodied that perfectly.
Crazy.
Which is it's a very unique talent, and I hope that you continue to work and hone on that, and especially when you get to Shenandoah, like continue to work and grow that, because again, like, you know, sports are gonna last you however long they last you, but those lessons that you learn in sports, you're gonna be able to take into your career, into your real life. And it's funny because me and my boss right now, I mean, he was my boss at one point, and we get along crazy well. We had sports. Me and my boss now, same exact thing. He had sports. And I just feel like those sports and those lessons that you learned that you're talking about right now just carry you so far in life. Like you get to go, you're going through stuff right now. You're talking about things right now that like you're gonna see in the corporate world, and you're gonna know how to handle these situations so much better than everybody else. Because like I did that in middle school, bro. Like, what are you talking about?
Right.
So yeah, it's a really cool trait to see for sure. So definitely hold on to that because that's it's special.
Thank you.
Yeah, don't ever lose that. You know what I mean? I think, you know, I'm probably one of the toughest people in Addisyn, right?
Yeah.
You know, like,
well,
but
when you always said, do you want to get Uncle Mike? Or do you want to get your coach?
Yeah,
like, which one you want?
Yeah,
You get what I'm saying?
So it's
like,
because it's always like, you want me to give you what's real, or do you want me to just baby it for you? It was always like, just give it to me because it's gonna help me.
Yeah.
So.
And so what she mean by that is like, it's two type of people when it's family, right? You know, they want you to be the tough person, but they also want you to let them ease up. You get what I'm saying? So, like, I tell Addisyn all the time, like, hey, Uncle Mike's different, right? Hey, I can be your coach, and, you know, I'm not here to be your friend, but I can be your coach, you know. So which one do you want? You're late today. You're 10 minutes late. You're 20 minutes late. No, I'm not. You're still sitting down. You want to be your coach? Or do you want to be your uncle? So I had to give that because I seen something, right? And it was the same way that, you know, I was with Tyler, right? You know, like, he'll look at me and he'll go, yo, let's go work, right? That one summer, like, we went to work. We went to the gym. Coach Tyler, I was in the gym. Like, he was like, yo, I need to put on 20 pounds. I was like, yo, bro, like, it ain't gonna be easy.
We can do it.
It ain't easy. But we trained for 2 weeks, like every day. Yeah. I looked at him. I said, "Bro, this is insane. Like, we are too grown, man." But he looked and said, "I'm with it though. This is what I want, right?" And then he pushed himself. So that's what you started to do. You never, if you need someone to push you, and you lazy on your own time, your potential is going to be slower.
Yep.
Right? The progress is going to be slower. And I learned that from him, right? I learned that from him, right? I was like, yo, man. He's like, bro, like, they can ease up. I can't. I said, what? They can ease up. I can't. And that's what the connection that you made, right?
Right.
Like, if you make a mistake or your team make a mistake, it's because of you, right? And that's probably like, you know, your dad, your mom, and probably me as well, because we always hold ourselves accountable on a lot of stuff, right? So that's something that's very, very special to me, you know, like the seed of growth in you, right? You have grown, you know, from, you know, the young Addisyn to the adult Addisyn, right? You know, and Addisyn, she's young for her. She's graduating. She already graduated high school, but she's young, you know, like, so, but she never held that against herself. She always wanted to compete against the older people, right? And she'll come to training. She competed with the boys every time, like going at them, you know. I like, yo, don't ease up. They like, oh, coach, don't ease up. Addisyn hates it when you ease up. Yeah. Like, she wants you to be as physical and tough as possible. And I think that, you know, helped. And that's when, even when Coach G was in there, right? Coach Gino being there, he's like, hey, you an athlete? Or you just out here? You know? And that's something that we saw in you, right? And I'm proud to be on this journey with you. It's going to be an even sweeter journey. right? Your college year, going into your freshman year, it's going to be some challenges. Mm-hmm. It's going to be some good. It's going to be some bad. You got to go in knowing that ain't nothing easy. Mm-hmm. Ain't nothing free, right? Ain't no playing time guaranteed. But if you do exactly what Coach Tyler and you just said you're going to do, you hold on. You hold yourself accountable. I always say all great players have amnesia, right? All great players have amnesia, right? You make a mistake, it's gone. Mm-hmm. You got to get right back at it. You got to get right back at it, right? And you going in and make sure you display your full package of everything, right? Mm-hmm. Defense is something that you really, really thrive in, right? In your IQ, but show your coach that you can do it on both sides, right? You know what I'm saying? And that's where you're going to stand out as a freshman, mm-hmm. you know, and that's what Tyler came in as a freshman, and he showcased that as a freshman, and everybody was like, yo, who is this kid? Who is this guy? He displayed it. So that's why I like the connection, you know what I mean? Like that connection that y'all had. So, but I mean, we don't want to hold too much of your time, you know, but if it was another, we always do this at the end.
Yep.
If it was another young Addisyn Banks out there that's looking for some advice from you, you know, on how to stay focused, how to stay, you know, motivated, how to become a leader, right? What would be some advice you give to that person?
I would say find a good group of people who will make you get better as a person. Always push yourself, take challenges, take risks. Don't be scared to do something, because if you are, then you're not gonna know who you actually are as a person or as an athlete. Mm-hmm. And I would say, just take chances, take risks. Show who you are. Let them know your name. Mm-hmm. And push yourself.
Yeah. TV, what you got, baby?
That's fire. Nah, again, like I hope that people listen and understand like your story, because again, especially I'm big on the recruiting piece, because that recruiting piece is correct. A lot of the people, a lot of the girls that I'm involved with right now, like they're trying to get recruited and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So like that piece is big to me, but also the leadership piece is something that I am very, very passionate about. Like throughout my whole entire life, that's something I'm very passionate about. And so that again, hold on to that leadership style, and I hope, you know, anybody else that's out there that has that same sort of leadership style, like hone that, work on that, grow that. Because that's gonna take you far in life. So I'm excited for your seasons coming up. Like, it's gonna go crazy. Yeah. Like it's gonna go crazy. So you
close to home.
Yeah, close to home. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's not that far at all.
Not at all.
I'm out there a decent amount with track. So like, it's gonna be very tough. So appreciate you coming.
Appreciate you. We love. Hey, look, Addisyn. First female on the on the podcast. It was big. All of Addisyn's, all of her friends, all of her teammates. We would love to have you guys be a part of this, you know, this growing platform that we actually created for the athletes. So, you know, reach out to us, you know, like tune in, you know, and that's Coach Tyler always say.
Yeah, man. New episodes every single Monday 8 a.m.
8 a.m.
It's that simple. Don't miss it. It's that easy.
It's that easy.
It's that easy.
That's pretty easy to me.
Hey, as always, niece, love you. I'm glad that you was on the episode. Another episode down.
Yes, sir.
We out of here.
All right, peace out.
Yep.